Come on. Come on. Boost the ISO. I know you can do it. We don't got the greatest lighting in here today, but we're going to roll with it. We're not going to be in here for too long. So we got this package straight from Dutchware Gear. An awesome backpacking company. Lots of awesome hammock stuff. Especially the hardware for tarps and stuff. Been using that stuff for a while. And I put an order in last week, and stuff just showed up today, so I'm very excited to show you guys some of this stuff. And like I said, we will get outside. We'll do some first looks on this stuff. We've got about a week left in October here in Pennsylvania, and my mindset is already shifting towards winter backpacking. I really want to get out there and do some winter backpacking, cold, sub-freezing backpacking this year. And so I'm trying to get some items together to be able to do that safely and comfortably. Winter backpacking is one of those realms that I haven't really gone into too deep yet. I've gone down to around freezing, but I want to be able to, I really want to go down to, 20 degrees, possibly in the teens. I'm shooting to get my gear together to be able to get down into the teens comfortably with my hammock setup and hiking. So right now I'm really trying to get that kind of gear together so I can get that dialed in for this year, so we can get out there, and do some exploring in the winter time conditions. So I got the bag here. They sent it in a bag. Thought they were gonna send it in a box, man. I had my knife ready. I wanted to do one of the cool little, boxy, cutty open things that people do. Don't get to do that today. Maybe another time. Let's go ahead and open this up and see what we got inside. I do have a caution tag on here. Caution when opening with sharp objects. We got some special high commodity items in here. Oh yeah. This is the good stuff. Chicken there. We got a bag full of stuff. Let's see what we got here. Item number 1. We got some. This is poly blend straps. I believe 12 foot like I always go with. And we got the Beetle buckle suspension on here. Now the Beetle buckle suspension was created specifically for Dutchware chameleon hammocks. If we can see it on here. This is the, my face is in the way. This is the Beetle buckle suspension with some poly spider straps, 12 foot. Good stuff. Next item out of the bag. Oh man, it's a hammock. Let's check this thing out. And this is a Dutchware Netless Hammock. And so we'll check this out when we get outside, but this is a Dutchware Netless Hammock. Their Netless Hammocks are 11 foot standard. I just got the continuous loops on both sides. Got the structural ridgeline on here. And they make their structural ridgelines out of, this is Zing It or Lash It. Most of my other ones are made out of AM steel, which is a bit stronger. So we'll have to check that out. And the fabric I got is a Hexon 1.2. And Dutchware says that this fabric is made specifically for them. And just by feeling this fabric, this feels like the softest hammock fabric that I have. I have a 1.6 Robic hammock, Dream hammock, and I have a hammock, the one that I use the most, that you guys have probably seen on this channel, is a 1.3 MTN XL. So this is a 1.2 Hexon fabric, and it feels like the softest hammock material that I have. Very, very soft to the touch. So I'm really excited to get this hammock out there. And I do have, I decided to get the dual knotty mods on this hammock, which is just some shock cord put into the end of the hammock to pull some of the fabric up into like a foot box, and we'll check it out when we get outside. So that is the Dutch Netless Hammock. And I don't have any netless hammocks, so that's why I wanted to get this for my winter backpacking setup. I wanted something netless because something else that's in this bag is gonna give me some protection from the wind. So there's that. Just throw that over there for now. This looks like the peak shelf that I could put onto the hammock. We'll check that out when we get out into the woods. And here we have, this is pretty much one of the big components that's going to be on my winter hammocking, backpacking sleep system. This is the 11-foot sock with zippers. And this is going to go around my entire hammock system, top to bottom, and cover me in, stop drafts from coming in, and seal in some of that warmth. So I'm not going to take this whole thing out, but we'll check this out when we get out in the woods. So I'm really excited to be getting this gear together for my winter backpacking setup, and let's get out in the woods and check some of this stuff out, guys. Alright, and through the magical powers of YouTube, we're now a day in the future, and we're out in the woods. Went ahead and brought some of the stuff I was showing you guys inside out into the woods here, and I'm going to go ahead and throw some of the stuff out and give it a little first run through. First thing I have here, these are the Dutch Poly Spider Blend tree straps, 12 foot like I always go with. Went ahead and put some Dutch clips onto the end here. That's just how I like to do it. You can do it without any hardware. You can use carabiners. However you like to do that, doesn't really matter. And then this is the new suspension that I wanted to try out. These are the Dutch Beetle buckles. They're similar to cinch buckle suspensions with just a few changes. One of the main ones being that you could detach these from your hammock's continuous loops. Could definitely come in handy in some situations, especially with the winter sock that I'm going to need to be putting on and off. And then they could just move up and down your straps like a regular cinch buckle. So pretty cool and very lightweight to the feel, really light. So I'll go ahead and put these around the trees. Here I have the Dutchware Netless Hammock. I'm going to go ahead and attach this to my straps, and then we'll see how this thing sets up. And I'm going to hang this probably a little higher off the ground than I normally do. Because there's a bunch of briars around down here. I tried to clear them out, but I don't want any of this gear to be around those briars. So this is the Beetle buckle suspension right here. Pretty similar to a cinch buckle. It just, you know, you can pull this up and down the strap to tighten or loosen it. But the very cool part about these is the continuous loop from your hammock coming out right here. You just loop this around the Beetle buckle, and that holds tight, and then you can disconnect that. This stays with your straps, and then your hammock can just come free. So you can quickly connect and disconnect. I think that's a pretty cool idea, as opposed to the regular cinch buckle, which the cinch buckle would be connected here to your continuous loop. You grab these little toggles here and just turn it 90 degrees or perpendicular, and then you can see you can slide this up and down to get it where you need it. And then when you turn this back straight, that holds tight. And if you need to disconnect for any reason, it's that simple. And then you can reconnect, you just loop it right around here. So, pretty cool suspension, and I want to definitely test this out. And I think this will come in handy for winter when I need to disconnect to put the winter sock around. Now I have the peak shelf here. Just one of the little accessories you can get for Dutch hammocks. It's supposed to just go up in the corner here. It's basically some mesh where you could put some gear. Originally, this was only available for the chameleon hammocks. And then Dutch started putting on these D-rings at the head end because people wanted to be able to put these on so much. So you can now put them on the netless hammocks. Alright, so I got the peak shelf here. I want to install this. But in order to install it, we need to get to the hammock structural ridgeline here. And in order to do that, we need to undo our suspension. Now, you know, this might be a little intimidating for some of you who have never done this. It's really not a big deal, really simple. I'm going to try to do this so you can see what I'm doing. So here's the gathered end of the hammock, how you're going to, you know, normally find it. Okay, you got your continuous loop. Just pull it out. So this is your gathered end. It's just a sewn channel that goes the whole way through the end of the hammock. And then you can put your continuous loop right through here. Okay, your structural ridgeline just loops around it. Really simple. Okay, but the structural ridgeline always goes around this spliced end, because this spliced end is what's going to be held tight to the hammock. This is where you're going to put your suspension, on the non-spliced end. Okay, so just get your structural ridgeline off the continuous loop. Got this piece here. When you squeeze it together, see the circles come together, and that's what you're going to feed the structural ridgeline through. And you can put this clip facing either direction, it doesn't matter. So just feed that through. Now that's on my ridgeline. Good to go, really easy. Nothing too hard here. Okay. Then just take your the loop of your structural ridgeline, loop it back around the spliced end of the continuous loop, then feed the other end through the spliced end. Okay, so the spliced end is going to be the one that's held tight to the hammock, and then just pull everything tight. And you know, if anyone's interested, I can make a full video, a better video where I can show you guys closely how to change hammock suspensions. If anyone's interested in that, just let me know. But hopefully that helps a little bit. Pull that tight. And then with this Beetle buckle suspension, I can just pop that right back on there and we're good to go. Then you just take the one end, it's going to have a little clip on here. Just clip that onto your hammock suspension. Just like that. The two sides are just going to have little pack hooks. They go right around the D-rings on the end. So I just clip them two onto the sides. Then I just take this D-ring and clip it onto the hook up here on my ridgeline, the adjustable one. So I have a nice little hang here. Got the peak shelf set in up here. Set adjustable. I can move this along the ridgeline, so you can tuck that away when you don't need it, or when you want to hold some gear in there. So like I said, this is the Dutchware Netless Hammock. I got this in the Hexon 1.2 fabric, and it's very soft to the touch. Definitely feels very comfortable. And I got the dual knotty mods on this, which is just, see this, it's just a piece of shot cord run through both sides of the foot end, and that allows you to cinch up and kind of tighten up some of the loose fabric hanging around on both sides. So I tightened up the foot end a little bit, and when you tighten that up, that gives you a nice little foot box area down there, and can kind of, maybe help your quilts from falling out of a netless hammock while you're sleeping, because you definitely don't want that. So basically, pretty standard hammock. Just got the structural ridgeline. Make sure to always get a structural ridgeline with any hammock. That's one of my best pieces of advice. It's just going to help you get a better hang, help you when it's less than ideal circumstances. So always get the structural ridgeline. And the knotty mods, and that's about it, other than the peak shelf. Pretty standard hammock. Kick off my shoes. Very comfortable laying in this hammock right now. This fabric is really soft. Definitely the softest hammock fabric that I have. And I'm getting a really good lay right now. Nice diagonal lay. My head's, over to this side, feet on a diagonal. And I definitely, right now, am in the sweet spot of this hammock, feeling very comfortable. So I think this is definitely going to be a good hammock here for me in the wintertime. Roll over to my side. How I like to sleep sometimes, I just kind of roll over a little bit, kick the legs out. Feels good. So like I said, the main reason that I got this hammock for was my winter setup. So I'm going to go ahead and throw an underquilt on here, and then get out the winter sock and start putting that stuff on. That's what I really came out here to do. And my ridgeline's got a nice little bit of bend in it, so I do have a good hang right now. So I went ahead and tossed on my winter underquilt here. This is a Hammock Gear 20 degree incubator. This is the Econ line. So this is a full length underquilt. This is going to give me protection from head to toe, insulation. So I have a 20 degree underquilt and a 20 degree top quilt, and that's what I'm working with right now. Definitely not ready to invest in the 0 degrees. And for the winter hammocks, and for the winter underquilts, I went with the Econ line of underquilts from Hammock Gear. Just because I figured in the wintertime, I don't really need to save those extra ounces that I'm trying to save in the summertime, which is why my 40 degree quilts are premium, just to save that when you're trying to get as light as possible in the summertime. So this is going to be my under insulation for the wintertime. Full length, like I said, this is going to give me insulation from head to toe, completely enclosed, great insulation, keep it nice and warm. Then I have what's going to be one of the most important components to this whole winter system. This is the Dutchware 11-foot winter sock. Pretty big, bulky. This is Argon 90, I think. Pretty hefty material, and this is going to really help to keep out drafts and keep a lot of that warmth inside the hammock here with me. And that's why I wanted to get a netless, because I'll probably we'll have to make some adjustments to this from inside, twisting it and turning it, because there's a mesh area that's vented, and you can turn that to adjust the amount that you want vented. So one end here has a cinch that you can open up really wide and loose to feed it over your setup. So I'm gonna feed this over the foot end. And this is where the Beetle buckle really comes in handy. I can just disconnect my whole setup, and now I can attach this sock. So I just fed this, disconnected the Beetle buckles up here, and fed the wide end over. And then there's just this small end here with a little cinch, and then a little clip that'll just clip onto the continuous loop on this end. On this end, I'm just going to do the same thing. Just going to cinch this down and connect it to the continuous loop. So this top end here has a nice mesh area for venting, and you can kind of turn this however you need to vent. Take off the shoes. I can already feel a whole bunch of heat radiating from my quilt plus this already. Just kind of trying to find my sweet spot in here. So that feels pretty good. Let's see here. Okay. So then I'll zip this closed, and from inside here, I could twist this around to get the venting right. So definitely really warm in here. Gonna have to play around with the extra fabric. The way I have it right now, I just feel like some of the fabric is really right on my face. So I think all I have to do is pull some of the excess down to the foot end of the hammock. Other than that, it's really warm inside here. I don't even have a top coat or anything, and it feels really warm. This winter sock is just going to stop a lot of drafts from getting to me. It's going to stop that wind coming through from robbing the heat out of my underquilt. Because, you know, if it gets really windy and the wind can still cut through your underquilts and rob you of that warmth, especially from underneath. And this is going to stop a lot of that wind, and it's also going to trap a lot of my body heat, make almost a microclimate inside of the hammock here. And then it has the vent up here to help, you know, condensation still be able to escape. So. Feels really warm though. So the main thing that I was noticing was that I was just having too much excess fabric up here at my head end. It was like going right onto my face. But overall, I really think that this is going to be an awesome piece of gear to add to my system. This alone is really probably, you know, should be able to get you an extra 10 degrees on whatever your quilts are rated to. So, you know, mine are going to be 20s, so I'm hoping to definitely be able to comfortably go down into the teens, maybe even like 10 degrees. Possibly single digits, I don't know. We'll see how this winter goes. I'm definitely pretty sure I'm going to be able to comfortably be in the teens. And there's plenty, this is cut wide enough so that it hangs down. It doesn't come up and compress any of your down that's in your hammock here. So I'm going to go back in here again and see if I can get some of that fabric off from my face, because I definitely don't like that. There we go. I can see out. So I can see out from the little vent here. This is going to help my breath and condensation escape out and not get trapped in here. Still having the fabric kind of hang down. Not a super big fan of that. So the only slight issue that I'm having with the winter sock so far is that when I want this mesh portion pulled down as far as I can to like see out and vent, I just get a lot of fabric draping onto my face inside the hammock. Now when I push some of it up and kind of tighten it up, it's great. I don't have it on my face. But I just want to make sure that I can vent enough, because I don't want condensation building up inside of here. Definitely don't want that. Getting my quilts damp and stuff like that. So if you have one of these socks and you kind of have dealt with that problem and you know a solution or something I'm not quite doing right, just drop a comment down below, let me know. So these are the new gear addition pieces to my late fall winter hammocking kit. Like I said, hopefully this is going to get me down into the teens, possibly further down below. We'll see what we get into this fall. Definitely excited to be getting out there in the wintertime, getting a different look to the forest and some different types of adventures. And so yeah, hopefully maybe this video gave you guys some ideas, possibly, you know, for your own setup, hammocking, going down in the colder weather. So I'm going to get out of here, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.